U.S. judge who ordered Chicago University to release Tinubu's academic records did what Nigerian judiciary failed to do in 23 years. In 23 years. Okay, in 23 years, Article 80 says. Oh boy. So Judge Nancy Maldonado is now, how do I put it? Is now the icon. Okay, it's now the lady to be. That is it. So that is she's now a gold in the eyes of Nigerians now for doing what the Nigerian judiciary could not do in 23 years, which is what? Upholding truth and injustice. Upholding truth and injustice. That is a very strong one. So, and this is coming from Frank Shaibu anyway, saying that this judge that ordered the release of Tinubu's record by CSU did what Nigerian judiciary could not do in 23 years. So let's hear what he has to say. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's Special Assistant on Public Communication, Frank Shaibu, says that the independence of the judiciary in the United States of America led to President Bola Tinubu's defeat at the Northern District of Illinois Court. Shaibu said this while reacting to the order by Justice Nancy Maldonado for the Chicago State University to release all of Tinubu's academic records to Atiku. He said Tinubu had continued to evade justice since 1999, when the legendary human rights lawyer Gani Fawemi first blew the lead on his certificate scam. Article 80 said rather than deliver justice on the merits of the case, judges had continued to give Tinubu victory based on technicalities, a development which had led to over 20 dubious victories. Shaibu said it was unfortunate that the Nigerian judiciary had failed to live up to expectations as the last hope of the common man. He said Justice Maldonado, who has spent less than 1 year on the bench and who sat on this case for barely a month, has been able to do what the Nigerian judiciary could not do for 23 years. This explains why the Nigerian judicial society is on the brink of slipping into the state of nature, which Thomas Hobbes describes as short, brutish, and nasty. Articles 80 lambasted Tinubu's lawyer and former national legal advisor of the All Progressive Congress, Babatunde Ogala, who had described the U.S. court victory as of no consequence. Ogala had also compared the victory to masturbation, insisting that the judgment would have no consequence on Atiku's appeal against Tinubu's victory at the Supreme Court. But Shaibu, who described Ogala as a legal and intellectual Lilliputian, asked the head of Tinubu's legal team to bury his face in shame. Exactly. He said, ordinarily, we should not have responded to the words of a legal Lilliputian who has never won any landmark case in the court and whose growth in the legal field is tied to the apron strings of Chicago bagman. However, the truth needs to be said for the sake of posterity. Louis Brandeis, U.S. Supreme Court judge, may have had Ogala in mind when he wrote about the wickedness of people shielding wrongdoers and passing them off, or at least allowing them to pass themselves off, and then propose a remedy that if the broad light of day, could be let in upon men's action, it would purify them as the sun disinfects. Not be small right of you so. If people's deeds could be allowed to, to see the light of the day, they will be purified like the sun disinfects. Wow. It is unfortunate that Ogala glorifies technicality instead of justice. Ogala claimed that the victory was meaningless, so why did he that his principal tried to block the release of his credentials if he had nothing to hide. Why did he also appeal the initial judgment? The Bible says only the wicked runs when no man pursues or chases them. Why has Tinubu been blocking the release of his academic records for nearly 30 years if it has no consequence? Articles AD alleged that Ogala's outburst was based on his desperation to receive an appointment from Tinubu, having failed to make the cabinet. Not be smart, Ogala was lobbying to be the Attorney General. He believed it was his birthright after defending Tinubu in court on several occasions. However, having only received the title of senior advocate 2 years ago without any remarkable or landmark cases under his belt, Tinubu opted for the more experienced Lateef Fagbemi. So since then, Ogala has been trying to ingratiate himself to Tinubu and is now standing logic on his head just to please his master. How pathetic is that? Oh boy. So exactly. So what is happening here is that Frank Shaibu has 2 cases here in one, and one is that Justice Maldonado in the U.S. court, upholding the judgment of Gilbert, saying that CSU or ordering CSU to release all of Tinubu's record to Atiku is something that Nigerian judiciary could not do in 29 or 23 years. Because since 1999, Gani Fahimi already opened this case and did not see the light of the day because of technicalities in Nigerian judiciary, which is taking precedence over justice in Nigeria. Okay, since then, judiciary has been playing around it because probably they're collecting money, they have their own sentiments, they have been influenced. But now, a lawyer or a justice who has just been less than a year or about a year in office and just a month on this case has just ruled, okay, or made a ruling that is also a disgrace to the Nigerian judiciary at home. And in response to that, Ogala, one of the judicial supporters of Tinubu, has come out to say that the ruling in the U.S. is of no consequence in Nigeria, that Atiku will not use that court document in Nigerian Supreme Court. And even if he brings it, it will not be admitted. That is what it means. Okay? The question is not whether it will be admitted or it will be used or not. The question is for the whole world to see who is claiming to be Nigerian president, who is claiming to come and fight corruption, who is claiming to also be a master of democracy. It not work. So Ogala, who is also there working for Tinubu, was thinking that he will be made Attorney General Federation. But having seen his pedigree and his precedence, Tinubu opted for someone else. So he's also in frustration. And that is why Frank Shaibu is calling him intellectual Lilliputians. Actually, the people of a place called Lilliput are short people. So we use that to also represent people with short perceptions, short minds, set, and everything short about them. So he's intellectual Lilliputian. So it's somebody that is very short in his intellectual properties. That means he's defected or deformed. Okay. So that is exactly what we're saying here. And somebody is saying, very, very true. It is so about the judiciary because they are compromised. I think as such, they would have been held against their dirty secrets. The judiciary should be investigated. Exactly. Judiciary in Nigeria is not living up to expectation at all. At all. Somebody's sincerities and character qualification is better than certificates of dubious mindset. Yes. I am still sure Bola Tinubu will be disgraced out of Aso Rock soon and very soon. As somebody saying there, exercise infertility. What will be useful to Atiku and the law beyond the certificate issued by Chicago State University? By the way, what was not pleaded in the lower court cannot be admitted in the appeal to a higher court. That is what you people are thinking, Abi. No wahala. People are supporting evil. And when you get inside your house, you'll be crying. That is one problem I have. Hypocrisy in Nigeria. So they will come to the public, support evil, but when they enter into their houses, the relative will done on them and they will regret inside the house. Of what use is then coming to public to pretend? Shame on Nigerian judges. God will continue to bless America and judges, most especially Nancy Maldonado. Nothing will happen because our leaders don't have shame and the masses don't know what to do. Even if they know what to do, they won't they will at the wrong time. The failure of Nigerian judiciary system is our collective responsibility, from the military to the PDP government to APC. Exactly, judiciary. Now we problemo can imagine. In Nigeria, corruption claimed the life of the judiciary, that every case is first looked at in the eyes of technicalities, not minding the merit. And it's a very bad thing happening in Nigeria. So that is what Frank Shaibu is saying here, that what Justice Maldonado has done in the US is what Nigerian judiciary could not do for 23 years. Let's have a comment in this regard.